diabetes.org.
I want to introduce you to the fourth generation of the Rutherford family, Joe Hayes, CEO and president of Rutherford Funeral Homes and Crematories. Welcome, Joe.
Thank you, Sean, and I am proud to continue the family tradition of making a difference for the families we serve in Central Ohio by being there to answer the tough questions and providing value alternative services as low as $19.95 and letting families decide.
Rutherford Funeral Homes and Crematories. There is a difference, and the difference is Rutherford.
Your station for news, traffic, and weather in Central Ohio. News Radio 610 WTVN Columbus. WOTC HD2 Asheville.
An iHeartRadio station.
From ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger.
We have a great country. I want to keep it that way. And you want me to keep it that way.
President Trump talking immigration reform just days before the House is expected to vote on 2 Republican bills on the issue. In a video posted today to social media, the president asked voters to push lawmakers to support legislation to close loopholes, which he now says allow dangerous and violent people into the U.S.
Democrats in Congress have opposed every measure that would close these immigration loopholes and bring the slaughter to an end.
The president also blames Democrats for a policy that allows the children of undocumented immigrants to be separated at the U.S. border from their parents. New fears of a trade war. The markets closed sharply lower yesterday after President Trump announced a 25% tariff and up to $50 billion in Chinese imports. China responded with more than $50 billion of tariffs of its own.
The real risk is that this turns into tit for tat and it grows, or that it more broadly signals tension that leads to less investment, weaker business ties.
Professor Joseph Foudy at New York University's Stern School of Business. A suspect is in custody after the fatal shooting of 2 sheriff's deputies in Kansas City, Kansas.
A deadly ambush just outside a Kansas courthouse. Friday, 2 officers transporting prisoners for a hearing when they were overcome by an inmate in a gated area next to the building. 35-year-old deputy Patrick Rohrer killed. And overnight, 44-year-old deputy Teresa King passed away from her injuries in the hospital. The courthouse immediately put on lockdown. Authorities combing surveillance video for clues about what may have sparked the violent confrontation.
ABC's Ariel Reshef. A deadly brawl in a Venezuelan nightclub. Authorities say at least 17 people were killed in the incident. You're listening to ABC News.
News Radio 610 WTVN. I'm Allison Wyant. There is an air quality advisory in effect for today in Central Ohio. Pollution levels are expected to be in the unhealthy range. You're asked to carpool and refuel after 8 o'clock tonight. Children, the elderly, and those with respiratory issues are being advised to limit their activity outside. Columbus police are reminding the public to watch out for motorcycles after 3 deadly crashes, all within 24 hours this week. The first happened on I-270 and involved a car and a motorcycle near I-670, killing 27-year-old Daniel Jones Quarterly. Another biker died when he was struck and killed at Morrison Sinclair. Michael Bruce of Columbus was killed when his motorcycle struck a pickup truck on Frank Road. An OVI checkpoint tonight in Madison County will be on the lookout for motorists driving under the influence. The checkpoint will be held from 9 o'clock tonight until 1 in the morning on U.S. Route 40 near State Route 142. The National Institutes of Health has canceled a study on drinking. Dave Schreiber explains.
The NIH canceled the $100 million study of moderate alcohol consumption, saying it had been irrevocably compromised after it was reported that staffers had solicited $66 million in funding from beer and liquor companies. The study was supposed to explore whether 1 drink a day could benefit the cardiovascular system.
And just days after World Blood Donor Day, blood banks and donation centers all across the region are asking for your help. Troy Adams tells us more.
As a blood shortage continues across the nation, you are asked to donate.
All types are really needed. We are in a critical need, as I said, for the O-neg. If you don't know your blood type, that's fine. Come in and donate anyway, and I can guarantee you the blood's going to be put to use.
Alicia Lipton with Hawksworth Blood Center says that the summer months are especially bad as more blood is needed and fewer people are donating.
Blood donations are being sought because of dangerously low blood levels leading into the summer vacation season. Donated blood helps save the lives of millions every year, including car accident victims, cancer patients, people with severe anemia, and women with pregnancy complications. For your ABC6 first warning weather forecast, mostly sunny today with a slight chance of afternoon rainstorms and a high near 90. I'm Allison Wyant. More news at the bottom of the hour and on demand at 610WTVN.com.
In Franklin, watch out for an accident on 70 westbound at 71. Could cause you some delays with the left lane block there. In Columbus, we remind you about the Columbus Pride Festival. Lots of traffic along Scioto Mile. Use caution if you're driving through.
In places around the world, there are elders who long for community, connection, and the opportunity to live with greater dignity. Sponsor an elder through Unbound and help bring a brighter tomorrow to one person who has helped us all build a better world. Meet one at unbound.org.
Most people are coming in because they have a problem and they have all kinds of hopes and aspirations and things they want to do. And they're finally walking into the Good Feet store. I'm ready to dive in there and help them find a solution to their problem.
You're listening to Beth, an arch support specialist at the Good Feet store.
So this woman walks in. She's literally got tears coming out of her eyes. I'm going to Turkey. I'm going to be walking and walking and walking. I've wanted to go there my entire life. I can't walk. And I don't know what to do, so help me. And I helped her.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
She called me and told me what a wonderful time she had on her trip, was virtually pain-free, that I had literally saved her life. I'm gonna cry. You just can't replace that.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Call 880-9255 or visit the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Grove City.
Live from LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility, this is On Target, the latest from the firearms industry, the products and politics that affect your hobby and liberty. This program may not be politically correct, but it is On Target. Now, your host, Eric Delbert.
Good afternoon. Welcome to On Target. We're broadcasting live from the studios of LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility. That's located at 999 Bethel Road. I'm your host, Eric, along with my father, actually the best father, right here, the day before Father's Day.
Okay, what do you want now, Eric?
Huh?
What do you want?
No, it's
another gun.
It's the lead up to Father's Day, you know.
All right.
Well, guys, I don't know if you guys knew this or not going into the show, but I have the gun of the week.
Yeah.
And did I mention that the gun of the week this week is mine to talk about?
Yes, you happen to
It's
mention
at
that.
1:15. You won't miss that when I do the gun of the week.
It's actually worth hearing about.
Yes.
Eric,
Why do I
It's really
suspect? Why do I suspect that when it comes your turn, you don't even have to be here. You have somebody call in, the manufacturer or something, and talk about it because you always do that.
I can't help that I overachieve.
Okay.
I mean, it's just in my nature, I guess. Well, we are the owners of LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility and are active law enforcement. But for 1 hour on Saturdays, we put together a group of firearm experts to discuss new products in the market, training tips, and oftentimes political topics surrounding the Second Amendment. Our commitment, though, has always been to bring you the facts about our industry and ultimately help our listeners and our customers with safe, responsible ownership of firearms. Today on the show, actually, Ronnie's monitoring the Facebook. Ronnie, you got the volume up on that?
Oh, yeah, I do.
'Cause I'm hearing myself. I hear voices sometimes, but now it's
yeah.
Today on the show, we've all heard the cries for gun control, the banning of the assault weapons, the doing away with high-capacity mags. And this week, the citizens of the city of Columbus were subject to a ban on any item that would increase the rate of firearm on firearms, commonly referred to as bump stocks. But are these really the solution to the violence we seem to continue to see in our schools and our communities? The OnTarget research team.
Yeah.
What do you
okay,
guys
all
think
right. Now on Facebook?
Okay. The OnTarget research team has been studying the claims, and what we discovered, it may shock you or it may not shock you. That's coming up at 1:30. You're not going to want to miss that. Before that, guys, I have the gun of the week.
Wow.
And you know what?
I think you mentioned that.
Yes.
Yeah,
and this one,
before?
this one hits all my favorite things.
It did.
It really does.
Yeah.
It's in my collection.
Yeah,
It's kind of new to me, and really is. Some would say it hits all my weaknesses, and it's all right into this. So you can kind of sense the
very
enthusiasm
cool.
on this
So
one.
wait.
And if you were watching Facebook at the very beginning of the broadcast, the Facebook Live, you'll know what we're talking
Well,
about.
actually, I threw him off with that, Ronnie. That's
that's
actually
not it?
not it.
Oh, he threw off the research team.
There you go.
Did you have to hawk like what 3 or 4 guns to
Four
get
guns.
this one? 4 guns. Okay.
Four
Four,
guns,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
So that, in case Lori's listening, yes,
Yeah.
4 guns.
Okay.
We'd like to thank our sponsors, Rampart Hosting, Toyota West, Jackson Lawn Care, and Egress Windows, Clean Water Systems, The Trigger Group, Black Wing Shooting Centers, River's Edge Cutlery, CNS Engraving, and our friends over at LEPD Training Facility, actually right here on our same site. Joining me today in the studio is JC from the sales team. JC, happy early Father's Day.
Well, thank you, and a return to both you and your father. So it's a great time, and we've been selling some of these gift cards like crazy. So at the last moment, if you're stuck for a father in your family or husband of your children. We have gift cards here, and they're in any amount. Come on in. They keep on giving. They don't lose their value, and it'll be a good time. So if you're all stuck, come on in. We'll be happy to help you out. We're open till 7 o'clock tonight. So
that's
step
right.
on in. But,
yep.
We've got a lot of other stuff too.
Sitting to a lot of stuff right now. Sitting to the right of JC is our good friend Ronnie, who makes it Boom Boom Technical. Ronnie, I'll have to say, you know how sometimes you don't say stuff to people until they get beyond it, but then your true feelings can come out. We're so glad you got rid of the ice cream
van?
truck. Yeah, you know,
Flag Day was 2 days ago, so we missed Flag Day. So now Phil has
yes,
donned
yes, you have to celebrate Flag Day, and this is my way of doing it, Eric. Of course, I have flags up in my house 24/7.
That's right. I like the flag on your head. I thought maybe you get a tattoo like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's coming.
So, Ronnie, again, thanks for getting rid of the ice cream truck. You know what? It was neat while it lasted. The big sign that said free candy, to kids only. Yeah. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
But no, your new ride is sharp though.
I think he was. I think he was planning on cutting the side out and selling ice cream.
That's
out
what he
there,
said.
too.
Yeah.
What
I even had the jingle in already.
We did. You know, we had that. We were going to put a speaker under the truck when you walked up there. One of those remote ones. My father and co-owner sits to my left. Did you hear?
Phil.
Yes,
Phil.
right.
Yeah.
Did you hear I doing a little special duty tonight? So,
but I don't want to know why.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. It's a good thing. I'll be out at the zoo.
Okay, zoo. Okay.
Yep, I'll be out at the zoo.
So.
Oh, the old
yeah,
zoo.
so if you're out at the zoo, stop by and say hi. I will be out there roaming the grounds. If you missed the show, you can always catch the podcast. It's at 610wtvn.com. It's also out there on iHeartRadio and on iTunes. Facebook is always live on Facebook. You can go back there, see old podcasts. Kind of neat because you can actually see the gun of the week. You can see the interaction with the guys during the commercials. It's a good thing.
Or in this case, Phil's headgear.
Yes.
That's right. Phil's headgear there.
I am the only one around here that really kind of celebrates, the holidays and things like that. You have to wear the apparel.
It's hard.
You have to show the colors.
He even celebrates Mexican.
Yeah,
flag.
I was just going to say.
I thought about that.
Hey, yeah, that was a couple years ago.
You know what? I had to look 2 and 3 times to make sure that this Flag Day was our Flag Day
on June 14th.
I'm sure our fine neighbors to the south appreciated it when
now,
you were.
Now you know that that the 21st of June is the first day of summer.
Right.
Now, is that the longest day of the year, or is that?
I think that is supposed to be. No, I think July, or around July, the 1st of July is the longest.
Yeah, the most daylight is usually done the 21st, 22nd. So
and then it goes down.
Okay, so it is. So our days are going to get shorter then.
That's right.
And I hate that.
I know. So, Ronnie, what do you have for us? There's a couple of little news things that I saw.
Well, I'll tell you,
looking up there.
As far as YouTube and all of these other places, Facebook and everything, who's starting to, look over mail and reject stuff and everything. The Brownells, if some of you don't know it, it's a place online that sells firearms parts and things online. And for many years, they've been doing videos on how to install sights, how to repair this or whatever. Well, YouTube kicked them off for their content. Never gave them a reason why or said what it was that got them kicked off, but they kicked them off of YouTube, which they've been doing to a lot of people lately. And apparently a lot of the people that watch the videos and stuff and are familiar with Brownells just raised holy you-know-what. and then all of a sudden the following Monday they're back on.
Wow, that's
So,
good. Brownell's been around for a long time. They're reputable. We're not talking
it's
about
not just sales; it's safety. It's how to
Right.
safely assemble your gun, how to safely do these things. So I look at it mostly from a safety standpoint, and
Right.
certainly they have lots of course, gunsmithing tips and
that
things.
could
That's their
conceivably
business,
save more lives
Oh,
than the
it's-
bump stock.
oh, it's incredible.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And Ronnie, there's also there's a little tour going around the country this year.
Our favorite group, David Hogg, or however you pronounce his name, they have they're hitting the road for the voter registration and gun control tour. They're going to start out in Chicago, and these, if you don't remember, these are students from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, and they're going to hit 50 cities across 20 states over 60 days on the March for Our Lives, and they're going to try and target areas where the NRA is really, which doesn't make sense because everybody's going to, where the NRA is really popular, and for any politicians who have used, taken NRA money, and he said that they are going to focus on groups that are friends of the NRA, and they'll be hitting, all of those towns and stuff.
Man, they must have had to sell a lot of lemonade.
I wonder how
for
that's
this.
funded.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I wonder who
I'll
funded
tell you
that.
who one of
Must
the
have been
major
a student bake sale, right?
Yeah, right.
Wow.
One of the major funders is Gabby Gifford's group.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
They're taking advantage. They
Yeah.
got a captive with these kids now, and to go out and send the message, and who can say no to the kids?
But it's kind of like a thing. It's probably going to get a lot of people that wouldn't normally go vote riled up, and most likely they're going to be people that are for gun rights.
Right.
So, hopefully they
That
do a
would be
good
nice.
job out there.
Yeah.
And it'll get the Republican base fired up.
Hopefully. When we come back from the break, guys, I got the gun of the week this week.
Really?
Yes,
Oh,
and it is
didn't
one
know
you're
that.
not going to want to
You
miss.
must be excited about
I'm excited
that, Eric.
about it. We're on
Okay.
Target. We're broadcasting live from the studios of LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility. We'll be right back after the break.
Rush Limbaugh takes the news of the day by storm. Monday at noon.
Yeah. I can't do it all in the first 15 minutes, for crying out loud. I'm going to get there.
Or he'll ease into it.
People always question my judgment. Well, not always.
Like slipping into a nice warm bath.
Please start gradually and build up here. I don't want to start with the crescendo and then slow down.
On News Radio 610, WTVN.
If you're looking to turn your basement into something beautiful by adding natural light, remember Jackson Egress Windows. Locally owned and operated. And Angie's List Super Service Award winner. Jackson Egress Windows can change your dingy basement into something special that will add value to your home. Whether you're looking to add an extra bedroom or game room or just a place to hang out, call Jackson Egress Windows for an estimate today. 614-260-5130. See examples of their work at jacksonegresswindows.com.
This is Eric, host of On Target and co-owner of LAPD Firearms and Range. When we opened our store, the smell from our water was awful at times. Employees didn't want to wash their hands, and drinking was not an option. We decided to call Clean Water Systems. Just incredible what they were able to do to make our water usable. Not only have we lost the bad odor, except for Ronnie the gunsmith, the employees are actually drinking and making coffee with it every day. Whether you have well water, high lead levels, or just want a drinking water better purified than bottled water, call our friends at Clean Water Systems. 888-851-7222. Everyone deserves clean water.
Every business needs great people, and the better way to find them. Something better than posting your job online and just praying for the right people to see it. ZipRecruiter revolutionized hiring. Their technology finds great candidates for you. No wonder 80% of employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site in just one day. Goodbye post and pray. Hello ZipRecruiter. The smartest way to hire.
Try it for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Shaquille O'Neal here. If you battle back or hip pain or knee or shoulder pain, you don't have to tough it out. You can just turn it off with Smart Relief from Icy Hot. You just push a button and whoosh. Smart Relief sends waves of relaxing pulses that safely block pain at the nerve level. It's simple, easy to use, and it's been clinically tested to start providing immediate relief for hours, even after you turn it off. So if you're battling pain, let Icy Hot help you win that battle. Turn on Smart Relief and turn off pain.
Use only as directed.
It's here. Tickets for our 2018 iHeartRadio Music Festival are on sale now. 2 nights on one stage.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas.
There's nothing else like it. Our 2018 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Hosted by Ryan Seacrest.
This festival is insane.
While the world is listening on iHeartRadio, you can be there. Get your tickets now at iHeartRadio.com/tickets. That's iHeartRadio.com/tickets.
The Krieger Commitment. Best cars, best people, peace of mind. KriegerFord.com.
Your ABC6 first warning weather for today. Lots of sunshine and it's hot out there. High of 94 tonight. Slight chance of a few spotty showers late in the day, low of 70. For Sunday, even warmer, more humid, high of 93 for Father's Day. It is currently 86 degrees on your Severe Weather Station News Radio, 610 WTVN.
Information 24/7 and on demand at 610WTVN.com. News Radio 610 WTVN.
How appropriate, Papa. Who sings that?
Lovin' Spoonful. Would you believe that you got trumped today, Eric?
Oh, you got to him.
Trumped.
Wow.
You have to wake up real early in the morning to beat me.
Wow.
Appropriate song.
That's right. That's
93 for Father's Day.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that, buddy.
Just throw those burgers on the grill; they'll cook themselves.
There you go. Welcome back to On Target. I'm your host, Eric, joined today in the LEPD studios with my father, best father to have you, co-owner Phil, sitting here to my left. JC sits to my right, and Ronnie, who makes a Boom Boom Tactical, 2 seats over from me. Guys, you know, every week we go around, we rotate someone who has a gun of the week, and it is my turn once again to talk about a gun that has some meaning to me. And if you've listened to the show for any length of time, or if you know me, there's certain things that I enjoy collecting or owning, and that is Smith & Wesson revolvers,
I wonder where you inherited that gene from.
There you go.
Perhaps your father?
J-frames, and if you throw any police history into it, wow, that for me is the big thing. And that's what I have here.
Yeah.
I have here in front of me, and if you're out there watching the YouTube, you can see it here. We have an old Chief Special. And now this one is kind of unique because it was owned by a New York Police Commissioner, John Beckman, who was the commissioner in that area from about 45 to 1960 until he went missing. And a few months later, his body washed upon shore.
And who was he investigating mostly?
A lot of the mob in the day.
So not Hillary.
That's right. So his you know, there's a lot of stuff surrounding his death and everything. Well, this one, let alone having the police history to it, it happens to be a really early version of the Smith & Wesson Chief Special, which is just iconic. I mean, look how many law enforcement officers and civilians have had this in their pocket or on their side for 70 years. And the early ones, they came from the old I-frame, which was a 32 caliber or a Smith & Wesson 38. And so the very early Chief Specials had some of those characteristics, as does this one. And if you look at it versus a modern-day J-frame, you'll notice that there's a round front sight versus the ramp. You also notice the trigger guard looks more like an I-frame. It's quite a bit smaller, and actually the grips are smaller. Well, when I got this in and was looking at it, there was something that I noticed, that the thumb latch, the release for the cylinder, was more of a traditional release. And I had always...
Like it had been replaced,
Right. I had always read that these, you know, the old Chief Specials were a flat latch. So I thought, well, maybe this has been replaced over. So what did I do? I did what like thousands and millions of us do. I went to the Bible of Smith & Wesson, the standard catalog of Smith & Wesson. And those, if you guys don't have that book out there, it is a must for any collector. It was written by the iconic Richard Nahas and the current NRA Museum Director, Jim Supica. And guys, it is a wonderful book. It has every information you would ever want about Smith & Wesson. I don't know how they did it.
Be a great Father's Day gift.
There you go. So when I looked this up, it said in there that through serial number 61 that they used this type of latch.
Wow.
Well, this gun here that's in front of us happens to be serial number 80.
80.
The 80th one ever made. And so what this means is that I'm going to have to get a hold of Mr. Jim Supica and
have
say,
him update his book.
There you go.
There you go.
And I mean, it's just everything about. Actually, looks like we're getting a caller here. Well, let's go to a caller. You're on with OnTarget. How are you, sir?
Yeah, hi there. Good morning. Really enjoy the show, you guys. And I just wanted to say how much I appreciate your impeccable taste in literature. You just really nailed that book right on the nose.
Who is that, Eric?
That. I'll run out and buy 3 or 4 copies.
Is that Mr. Supica?
Yes, it is.
Whoa!
Oh, my word.
Wow, I didn't recognize Jim's voice. Okay.
An honor. We were just talking about the book and about this gun and some of the history and stuff.
And about the Delbert Amendment that's going to go in there with serial number 80 having that same latch. So.
Wow.
We're going to take a footnote there. Absolutely. I love the history with the gun. Anytime you can put a face on the gun or a little bit of history, to me, those are the guns that are really interesting.
Well, and you're basically the curator of the NRA Museum right now. I mean, oh my word, what is that like to wake up and go to work every day?
Best job in the world. Don't tell people how good it is or they'll want to start charging me to work there. I've got a great crew that works with me. We've got 3 great museums around the country, and it's just an honor to get to work with these wonderful guns, these real pieces of history, and to do a little something for firearms education. We've got the 3 museums now, the original one at NRA headquarters in Fairfax, Virginia, and then we've got an incredible new museum opened in 2013 in Springfield, Missouri at the Bass Pro Shop there, the NRA National Sporting Arms Museum, which is just spectacular. And, of course, a great little museum down at the NRA Whittington Center Ranges in Raton, New Mexico.
Wow. You must have just some out-of-this-world pieces in there. Anything come to mind that you can't believe you're holding or setting your eyes on?
I got a lot of favorites. My favorite right now in either of the museums is a 16th century 16 shooter. It's a wheel lock from about 1585, German made, and it has 2 wheel locks and a match lock mounted on it, and it fires 16 times without reloading.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
even interesting, it's fully automatic. You pull the trigger once, you can either fire all 16 rounds, or depending how you load it, you can fire a burst of 9 and a burst of 5 and have a single shot remaining.
That's incredible.
Wow.
That's amazing. I'd love to see that one, Jim.
Wow. We're talking, if you just tune. Go ahead,
They
sir.
did it with superposed loads. They'd load one load on top of each other, powder ball, powder ball, powder ball, 16 times. And the trick to it is that the first 15 lead balls that they load have a hole drilled through the center of them longitudinally, and then that's packed with a fusing material or gunpowder. Where you ignite the first one in the barrel, that fires the solid lead ball. Then the fire commutes through the hollow center of the next lead ball to the next round, and they keep going until you run out of the 16 shots.
Like a Roman candle.
That firearm would be banned today, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Hey, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, if you're just tuning in, we're talking to the Honorable Mr. Jim Supica, who wrote the book on Smith & Wesson. I mean, the catalog, the book is just, I know I'm oohing and ahhing over it, but there's so many times, Jim, where at night, I'll pick it up and I'll just flip randomly to a page because there's so much information in there. How did you even go about collecting the data for that?
Well, I wish I could take more credit for it than what I honestly can. The publisher called and asked if I'd like to write it. And I said, I just don't have the data at my fingertips, but I know the guy who does, and that's Rick Nahas. So I called Rick. He was very interested in doing it together. And we had the help of a lot of Smith & Wesson collectors. I can't believe it. The book's been in print for 20 years now through 4 different editions. And it's very much a collective work from a community of Smith & Wesson collectors. And to the extent that there's great technical data there, that's all due to Rick Nahas. I pretty much do the color commentary and the chit-chat and the pictures. But Richard was the guy who was out there digging out all the hard facts. And I think that's one of the reasons that historians, gun enthusiasts do like it. It's because of the detailed information that's in it.
Well, I was really excited when I purchased this, this Chief Special serial number 80. But it's my understanding that you collect serial number 1s.
I do collect serial number 1 guns. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, that is that's amazing. I mean,
you're competing with those Fisher family, huh? All right, okay. They've got some great ones too. Fantastic.
Listen, guys, I'm not picky. I've got RG 38 revolver serial number 1. I've got Titan 25 ACP serial number 1. So if it's got a 1 on it, it's eligible for my collection.
Wow, that's incredible. Incredible.
That is neat. And now, to get into the museums, what is the charge for it?
All 3 of the NRA museums are free. They're open every day of the week, open every day of the year except Christmas and New Year's. So just come by, and if you like guns, you will love the museums. I promise you that. A lot of historic arms, a lot of rare arms, a lot of unusual arms. A lot of high art guns. We have some exceptional engraved pieces, especially at the museum in Fairfax. Guns from Hollywood. We have Dirty Harry's Smith & Wesson Model 2944 Magnum in our Hollywood Guns Gallery. So just a lot of cool stuff. If folks can get by, they'll enjoy it.
And a lot of firearms, if I understand correctly, that were owned by past presidents and some that have historical value to them.
Yeah. We have guns that have been owned by Theodore Roosevelt. We have an entire Theodore Roosevelt gallery in Missouri. Dwight Eisenhower, Grover Cleveland, John F. Kennedy. A lot of very cool guns. We have guns that were owned by Medal of Honor recipients, a number of significant military service people. A lot of guns of lawmen and outlaws of the Old West, and those particularly at the Missouri Museum. Jesse James, Blackjack, Bass Reeves, Cole Younger.
Wow.
Like I say, the guns with history are the ones that really speak to me.
Right, me as well. Well, hey, I so appreciate you calling in. We'll have to catch up with you again and talk more about the museum. And so thank you so much from all of Smith & Wesson owners for writing the book and being a part of that. It is truly a work of art. We love it. And really, thank you so much for spending time on your Saturday calling in and talking firearms with us.
Really a pleasure, guys. Let's do it again. And congratulations on picking up that great little Baby Chief special.
Great. Thank you so much, Dan. That's Jim Supica, the author, one of the authors of the Standard Catalog of Smith & Wesson, the Bible of Smith & Wesson right there, and curator of the NRA Museum.
Hey, how'd you get him to call?
Well, I'll tell you that when we come back from the break. We're on target. We'll be right back after the news.
Hey, this is Paul from OnTarget. Around the store, I'm known as a tough guy and the enforcer. I usually don't do commercials. However, when it comes to our new sponsor, Toyota West, I told Eric this is all mine. Since the late 1980s, I have been going to Toyota West for all of my new car and truck purchases. They are located at 270 and Georgesville Road. My main man there is Dean, who has been with the dealership over 13 years. That's got to say something for the caliber, excuse the pun, and experience you'll find at Toyota West. In the market for a new or used vehicle? Don't screw up. Go visit Toyota West. Tell them Paul sent you.
Have you ever considered bringing that old shotgun back to life? Or do you want to make your carry firearm unique? There's only one place to go in Central Ohio to have your firearm Cerakoted by professionals. The Trigger Group in Worthington is the only factory-trained and certified applicators of Cerakote in Central Ohio. Choose from a patriotic theme, team colors, or simply design your own pistols, slides, grips, rifles, magazines, and much more. Don't trust your firearm to anyone but the experts. Visit their website at thetriggergroup.com to see their work, or check out their selection of firearms on Lakeview Plaza in Worthington.
News Radio 610 WTVN. I'm Allison Wyant. A Columbus police officer could soon be off the job for paying for sex while on duty. Police Chief Kim Jacobs recommended Officer Randall Mayhew be fired after an internal affairs investigation uncovered the misconduct. He'd been on desk duty since the allegations emerged 2 years ago. An Ohio State University fraternity has been kicked off campus for hazing. The school says 2 separate investigations over the past 6 months uncovered hazing, alcohol abuse, and other endangering behaviors. And a popular German village restaurant is reopening after they were closed for over 18 months due to a fire. Plank's Beer Garden on South High Street is welcoming customers back tomorrow. The business sustained heavy smoke and water damage in late 2016. The owner says they hope to repay the customers for their patience as they repaired. For your ABC6 first warning weather forecast, sunshine today with a chance for some afternoon rain and a high of 91. I'm Allison Wyatt. For breaking news and weather alerts, instantly follow us on Twitter at 610 WTVN News.
Are you thinking about making your first firearm purchase or looking to add to your collection? Stop by and check out over 200 used firearms in stock at LEPD Firearms Range and Training Facility on Bethel Road. From modern pistols, old revolvers to classic rifles, you'll find a wide variety with inventory changing daily. Check out their current used inventory at lepd.com or stop by the store and experience the best holster selection in Central Ohio. Great deals are waiting for you at LEPD, 999 Bethel Road, or on the web at lepd.com.
This is Eric with LEPD Firearms Range and Training Facility. If you're a business owner in need of a personalized gift for your employees this season, CNS Engraving is one-stop shopping for all your engraving needs. From promotional items to customized products to unique OSU licensed gifts, the quality of work from CNS is simply the best in Central Ohio. Want to make your firearm unique, or do you need an NFA item engraved? Do what we do and call our good friends at CNS Engraving, 614-929-2726. Come see their work at LEPD or stop by their storefront in Powell.
Live from LEPD Firearms Range and Training Facility, this is On Target, the latest from the firearms industry, the products and politics that affect your hobby and liberty. This program may not be politically correct, but it is On Target. Now, your host, Eric Delbert.
Welcome back to On Target. I'm your host, Eric, joined today in the LEPD studios with Ronnie, who is Boom Boom Tactical. JC, one of our fine salesmen, can be seen here on Fridays and Saturdays in the showroom. My father, the best father right here, and co-owner, Phil, sits to my left. Guys, how do you come back from that? I think we just play songs the next half an hour and call it a day.
Yeah, we could just have him gun at the. I mean, this is the museum. What they have there is just so unique and rare and wonderful. He could.
And it doesn't cost anything to go
free,
in, you know.
So what a great trip.
I wonder if David Hogg is going to stop there on his tour.
Right. Papa, you have Gun of the Week next week. You got 1 week to pull it together, so I'm just giving you a little forewarning there.
Well, you know, we're not going to be here next week, I don't think.
Huh? Oh, that's right. You're not going to be here.
I'm going to be on assignment.
That's right. You can call in. On assignment. There you go. Well, guys, you know, we've all heard the cries for gun control. And, you know, every time you pick up the paper or turn on the TVs, they're talking about banning assault weapons, whatever that is, doing away with high-capacity magazines. And this week, right here in Columbus, the law went into effect where if you own a bump stock or any device that helps accelerate the speed of fire on a firearm, it is immediately no longer legal. And, you know, sorry if you've bought it when it was legal, but right now you're in a violation of the law and you're a criminal. And so we thought we'd take a step back, and we did some research this week on, you know, do these laws, do they affect anything? And you know, it's very hard to come up with a cause and effect relationship. But one thing that we did see time and time again is that there's government inefficiencies within the system, if you will, that have directly resulted in some of these mass shootings, these high-profile shootings lately. And so if you're really trying to solve the problem and you want to take a step back, this isn't what we should be looking at. It's not the gun, it's not the tool in it, but it's fixing some of these things. So we took a step back and we went through and it's just as you go through and gather, it becomes so apparent that the system needs fixed, and that system can affect change when it's resolved.
Absolutely. And when you take a look at some of the things that have kicked everything off, and then you really look at how many, not just one time something would fall through, but in one individual, maybe 5, 6, 7 times, they should have been not allowed to have, possess, purchase a firearm, but it just fell through the cracks, and that was the cause. And if any one of those steps along the way, these tragedies, you know, could be prevented, and there's a bunch of them.
And I don't want to be here like the left and be pointing fingers and pointing blame. We as a society, we need to say, okay, look, this is where we failed. What can we do to fix it going forward and stuff? So you take Nicholas Cruz, the Parkland shooting, the one that brought all this attention and stuff. John, there were so many red flags. from him bringing ammo to school, but because of the Obama-era Promise program, where they wouldn't call law enforcement to interact in this, it continued to slip through the cracks. And it got so outrageous that towards the end, before he did this horrific act, he posted out there on Facebook that he was going to do it, and somebody sent that lead right to the FBI, and it went unchecked. And one of the FBI, one of the articles said that the agency said they couldn't identify the user who made the threat. But the name of it was his name.
He used his own name on there. They sent a Snapchat of his actual verbiage that he put on there to them and saying, hey, this guy is going to do this. And, and I think we talked about it before. To remember really quickly, he and his brother had 45 previous encounters with the police. 45. I mean, my goodness, that's incredible. 6 times, according to the Miami Herald, he would have been reported to the police in school, but due to the Promise program, which pays the school district not to call the police on their students so they don't have a criminal record, because that wasn't done 6 times. And one of those included the ammunition. What did he do? He goes back, he comes in, and now they went, we need to ban guns. Well, the FBI got the information. It wasn't forwarded through to a supervisor. No one did anything. This could have been prevented many, many, many times.
Times over and over
and
again.
And now, because of those failures, he went in, did a horrible act, killed 17 students, and now we want to take away guns. And as I mentioned last week, 60 guns since Columbine have been used in school shootings. That I even upped it. It was 50 guns, and I said, let's add another 20% in there. Out of 422 million estimated guns. And this is estimated by the government, not by just some gun magazine or NRA. That's more guns, obviously, than people in the United States by over 100 and some million. They want to take them away because of the failures of the system.
Well, and you look at this. I mean, you look at a few years prior, Dylan Roof in South Carolina. He goes into a church and kills several people. Yeah, and again, another failure. He was a prohibited user, but because the NICS system isn't up to speed and they couldn't get the information back to the dealer quick enough, he ends up walking out with a firearm that he ultimately used to do this horrific act. And I mean, when you look at the stats on that this isn't just a one-off thing. This is FBI numbers. When you go back several years, in 2016 alone, 4,100 times that they know of, somebody walked out the door with the gun, and they came back later and said, wow, that should have been a prohibited user. Now we got to go find it.
And we have to send agents out to the individual and, and confiscate the gun.
That place in Florida that didn't even record that for...
Right, we'll get to that.
Okay.
That one.
Yeah, that was on concealed carry, wasn't it?
Right, that was on the concealed carry. But on these NICS things where they can't get the information quick enough back, I mean, 3,000 times in 15, 2,500 times in 14. When you look back over a 5-year period, you're looking at 16,000, 17,000 people that we have put guns in the hands of who we know shouldn't have them. That's an issue.
That's an issue.
You stop that, and you're going to affect more change than banning a bump stock.
Yeah. And Dylan Roof, he shot 9, killed, actually, the anniversary, 3 years, tomorrow will be 3 years ago he did that. Killed 7 people, and like you said, Eric, he had a felony charge on him that would have prevented him from doing that, and just due to the complications of ferreting out all this information, didn't get done on time. He got it, and before they could confiscate it, he did the deed.
And Ronnie, to your point, talk about failures. This week it came out that Florida, the state of Florida, for a 1-year period, failed to run NICS background checks on CHL applicants. For a 1-year period. And the reasoning, their password expired, and the girl who does it didn't know how to update it.
Now,
is
God
that a failure?
forbid you don't want to tell somebody and say, hey, my password, but just let it go for a year.
So what happened in this case, once they ran those people back through, 291 people ended up having their concealed carry license pulled.
And you know how many she didn't run them on? 350,000 people. They had to go back and redo 350,000. Found 365 that had disqualifiers. After further investigation, 74 of those seemed to be okay. But like Eric just said, 290.
And fortunately, that didn't allow them to get a firearm. If they went into a store, the store would still do the NICS background check, and they would have been prohibited. Well, what happens if that happened in Ohio? Where you can use your concealed carry license to circumvent the background check. we would have been in trouble at that point. So again, another failure in the system, another opportunity to get better, where there can be a direct result seen for that.
Absolutely. And the other big thing too, and I hate to keep mentioning it, is that 90-something% of these places are gun-free zones.
Always.
So
Yep.
instead of banning bump stocks, let's give the teachers or somebody firearms. Maybe not the teachers, control officers, something. And then the mental health aspect of it as well.
Yeah, and when you look at that, the mental health, you talk about NICS itself. In 2013, the industry, the sporting industry, identified that there are some huge holes in this NICS operation, and they came up with something called Fix NICS. 2013, the industry, identified that. And there's still issues we're seeing today. They're reporting that the industry obtained data from the FBI back in 2012 and said at that time, 19 states had made fewer than 100 records available to the NICS system.
19 states.
That's an
Fewer
issue.
than 100 records.
That's an issue. And you look at, Ronnie, you talked about mental health. Devin Kelly, he killed 26 people in Texas. That's after he escaped from a mental hospital in the Air Force, made threats to his superiors, accused of assaulting his wife and fracturing his kid's skull. He was caught sneaking firearms to the Air Force base, presumably to carry out these threats, convicted of domestic violence, and it never gets reported to NICS.
Court-martialed and given a bad conduct discharge, and they still, they failed. And they went, gee, we're sorry, but yes, Pentagon rules required them to inform the FBI, and they did not. And because of that, he ended up getting firearms, and 26 people killed, not because of the gun, but because of the failure of the society, failure of us to stop these folks.
I'm sorry. Cincinnati Enquirer recently did a study looking at just Ohio, and they said 90 courts have submitted incomplete lists of felony convictions. Governor Kasich even went on to say that Hamilton County, for a 4-month period, never submitted anything to NICS. If that is what we're using as the basis to keep firearms out of the hands of the bad guys, we need to make sure that thing is working and put the resources to get it to work.
And what's interesting is we all know about this stuff, okay? But the people who make decisions and laws and stuff, nobody wants to talk to us.
They don't want to talk. They don't want to talk to us or anybody that knows, and they want to just say something to further their agenda, just to check the boxes, Eric would say.
That's right. Let's go to caller Rick on line 5. Rick, you're on with OnTarget. How are you, sir?
How am I, sir? I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, my word. Did you slip through with Rick? I didn't know it was Richie.
Oh, my word.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Good. How's it up there in the old New England states?
Well, New England's great, but, I felt kind of bad calling in. I mean, how can I follow up after you spoke to Mr. Supica?
I know it. Seriously.
I can't. I don't have zero credentials to offer you guys after following up after him. It was great to listen to him, though.
Now, Rich, we talked about you live on the air when the day that you were in getting a tattoo on Veterans Day, and you were in the seat. We kind of joked about the pain and everything. How did that turn out?
You're setting them up there.
Well, put it this way, I have no regrets for what I did.
Regrets.
Yeah. Now, I heard these new pens they have spell check on them. I don't know if that's true, but...
Well, it's troubling to me that so let me tell you this. I've been wanting to get this tattoo for about 7 years, and it's called the Ode to Remembrance, and it was written right after the very first battle of World War I. And it remembers the fallen, whether it be fallen soldiers. But for what I do for a living, and as Eric knows, I'm a law enforcement sales manager for a distributor, and I've been working with law enforcement for 20 years. I have a brotherhood with them, and this represents all of those who have fallen in service. Well, to make a long story short, the tattoo reads, "At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them." You figure all of those words are pretty much 4th grade words. Well, sure enough, he left out an M in remember.
Well, aren't you going with the whole fact that that's the Latin version of it, or?
Well, you know how if you read a news article and they spell something wrong, it has SIC spelled incorrectly? So I'm thinking about putting that directly on the remember. I don't know. They said they could fix it, but last time I checked, they have no whiteout for bad tattoos.
Wow.
Well, Rich, thanks for finally calling in. We've only been talking about it for, 3 weeks now?
But, yeah. But I love the topic you guys are talking about right now. It's absolutely amazing that in our industry, those who represent the firearms industry has all this information readily available. It's not even theories. It's actual stated facts on where the system is broken, yet no one is addressing certain things as far as the NICS system. We've talked about the stolen gun registry not being available to dealers. 98% of all school shootings have happened in, mass shootings have happened in gun-free zones, but yet no one wants to see the most obvious statistics and facts that's put in front of them. And it's disturbing, especially as gun owners fighting for our rights.
You're right, Rich. And we talk endlessly about this stuff, and it seems so second nature on what the answer is, but it just doesn't seem that way in the in the media and in the politicians' world. So
and all those shootings, all those deaths could have been prevented easily just if they hadn't fallen through the cracks. The information was there. They should have been prevented, not just an afterthought. They should have been prevented right off the bat. And that's a tragedy.
That's right. Well, Rich, always great talking to you. I'm sure I'll catch up with you this week. Thanks so much for calling in. That is Rich from New England area. We're going to jump to a break. When we come back, we're going to get to Joe and get to some of the more stuff that happened right here in Columbus about the bump stocks ban and what you need to do if you own one. We're on Target, broadcasting live from the studios of LAPD Firearms and Range. We'll be right back after the break.
Joel Riley and Columbus's Morning News.
Hope you enjoy your Father's Day weekend. We're back Monday morning, bright and early. We'll get you traffic and weather, a recap on the U.S. Open, plus the latest fallout on the DOJ report. News Radio 610 WTVN.
If you're in the market for high-end kitchen knives, tactical blades, or shaving supplies, go to where the professionals shop. River's Edge Cutlery, conveniently located in Hilliard. You'll find some of the best knives from Spyderco, Microtech, Benchmade, and much more. Their one-on-one service and commitment to helping you find the right knife for your needs is unsurpassed. Stop by and see your friends at River's Edge Cutlery. That's riversedgecutlery.com. Recommended by LEPD Firearms.
Are you ready for a summer blast at Blackwing? It's packed with 3 days of fun, food, friends, and more. Kickoff begins Friday, July the 27th after work with a hog roast and a free concert from Nashville singer-songwriter Bobby Cool. Come on back Saturday the 28th for a huge car show with food trucks and music. Sunday is fun day with shooting events and free seminars. With big sales and lots of giveaways, you'll have a blast all weekend. All the details are at blackwingSC.com. Get your tickets now. It's not a summer blast without you.
From the 3C Body Shop Studios, get your car fixed right. News Radio 610 WTVN.
Your ABC6 first warning weather for today. Lots and lots of sunshine, and it is warm out there. High of 90 for tonight. A slight chance of a few pop-up showers later in the evening. Low of 70 for Sunday, Father's Day. Even warmer, more humid. High of 93. It is currently 86 degrees on your severe weather station. News Radio 610 WTVN.
Reports at the top in 30 minutes past. Breaking news at once. News Radio 610 WTVN.
Welcome back to On Target. He did get to you, Scott. I can't believe that. We're broadcasting live from the studios of LAPD Firearms Range and Training Facility. Obviously, I got the button to put your mic on and off.
Now, who sings that?
I don't know.
Mungo Jerry.
See, I told you.
Man, you got me on that
Jerry.
one.
Yeah, and Scott was worried that there would be some repercussions after. I said no, because I'm the boss.
He pulled the strings. We're talking about some of the laws out there and some of the things that could be done to affect change when we talk about firearms and some of these shootings and violences in our community. And so we've gone through some of these failures in the system that should be looked at, before we start banning items and banning the tools and stuff. We're going to go right to Joe, who's been holding for a while. Joe, how you doing there? Welcome to On Target.
Yeah, I called in a couple weeks, or about 3 weeks ago, and didn't get in. I didn't hold long enough. But I've got 3 grandkids, 2 grandkids and a grandson-in-law that are all in law enforcement. I'm thinking that some of these judges should be held accountable for the people that they keep releasing and doing these things. We can get into a big situation, but I think some of these judges should be held accountable when they turn these people loose and let them go and do what they need to do. And like I said, if there was more armed people in these schools, I think it would stop it in a hurry.
Right, Joe, and we've been saying that all along. I mean, where is the accountability with these judges who look to be maybe left leaning? I'm just throwing it out there because some of the rulings tend to follow that. But there's never seems to be any recourse, And what do we have here in Columbus? We're apologizing to the criminals, and
that reminds me too of the one judge that wanted to rehab that terrorist that wanted to rehab, not to not to sentence him, but let's rehab him.
Right. So
he's since been sentenced to 25 years, and so that's good. So just so we know that. Yeah.
So we're right with you on that, Joe, and it is scary for the kids. We don't we all need to take responsibility, and we're fine with stepping up and letting the past be the past, and let's fix this. Let's stand up and be adults for our kids, and let's fix this, and go forward with it. We know it can be done. It's just we just don't have the right people making the decisions, unfortunately. Thanks for calling in, Joe, and always thanks for listening to On Target. JC, as we wrap up here, we need to talk about the bump stock here in Columbus. It's banned, so if you own one now, you checked a little bit ago. How many have been turned in? Do we know?
This is actually kind of a serious thing. Columbus going out on a little bit of a different take on it. As we know, that there's been a preemptive gun law passed and went into effect in March of 2007, saying that the gun laws, the state gun laws, that is, no one can go above or beyond the state gun laws. However, municipalities are allowed to control laws that result in misdemeanors. Well, Columbus just passed, and it's following the suit of what they want to do in Cleveland, Cincinnati. What they've done is they have passed, and it went into effect on the 13th, and they're banning bump stocks and other gun accessories that increase the rate of fire, and they are outlawed. Now, get this. So if you're guilty of it, you don't have to have it on a gun. If you had it in a package, if you had just a stock in your lap or something, you're taking it home from someplace, and if you get caught with it possessing the accessory, just the accessory, they call it a misdemeanor, but in Columbus they have given this, get this words, mandatory minimum punishment of 6 months in jail and a $1,500 fine. So this is
that's a misdemeanor.
A misdemeanor with 6 months in jail and a $1,500 fine. They're trying to get around the law by, I think, by doing the misdemeanor aspect, so it's not a felony. But so far, as much as we have understood, none, at least reported in the Columbus Dispatch on June 14th, on Thursday, they said none had been turned in to Columbus. But they checked with some other entities that have done this. They banned these bump stocks and accessories in Denver, Colorado. None have been turned in. And let's go further. New Jersey. They banned them in the entire state of New Jersey.
Wow, they must have a bunch.
Oh, they have a bunch. They had. Oh, wait a minute. They had 0 turned in.
Well, that probably means nobody bought one.
But there is, and in the state of Massachusetts, now that's a little different. There was a ton was turned in. State of Massachusetts banned those in. I think a ton. No. 4. So unless they weigh 500,
that's a part of a ton.
500 pounds a piece, it could be a ton. But they don't. And but 4 in that state. So Massachusetts, a total of 4 turned in.
It's crazy.
Crazy. So that's going to stop things, right?
That's right. Right. So, hey, guys, we only got a couple seconds left, but I want to, Father's Day tomorrow, stop by, get a gift card. We have SIG 365. We have CMR 30s. CMR 30s in
that's
stock.
The carbine. The
call or stop by to check those out. Great. Definitely worthwhile. You can stop by and see. We also have some old 5906s we just got in.
Oh, yeah,
a bunch of old revolvers. It's definitely worth stopping by and checking them out.
Great stuff in here.
Thanks for spending the last hour with us. Happy Father's Day to all those fathers out there.
Happy Father's Day to you, too.
Yep. Ronnie, the father of the
I'm a
four-legged friend.
Four-legged father.
We'll catch you next week. Have a good week. And thanks to Mr. Jim Supica for calling in. And my buddy Richie. Always good to hear from them. Have a safe and happy Father's Day. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place.
Hear ye, the Flag Ladies Flag Store. Come to our party on June 14th from 10 to 5 to celebrate Flag Day. On that date in 1916, President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed our first Flag Day and stated, "Our flag is the emblem of our unity, thought, and purpose as a nation. It has no other character than that which we give it from generation to generation." Come to the Flag Ladies Flag Store on June 14th, 4567 North High Street. Remember, park in the back. Happy Flag Day, Old Glory. FlagLadyUSA.com.
Ready or not, summer's here, and Frisch's Big Boy is spicing it up with our spicy primetime sandwiches lineup.
Yep, that's a
Three
great idea.
wildly flavorful sandwiches sure to spice up your taste buds. From our Buffalo Blue Burger to
You
our
there, Mr.
Southwest
Scott?
Veggie Burger and our
I'm going to
Buffalo
start
Chicken
sending
Sandwich.
this stuff. I got
You'll get a kick out of each spicy
preempted by
summer
old
treat.
Pawpaw.
Try one before it's too late, because just like summer, these three sandwiches won't last forever.
Seriously?
The clock is ticking. Every day you put
That's
off buying
awesome.
life
That's
insurance
good.
can cost you big time.
That is cool.
The
All
older
right,
you
I think
get,
that was good.
the more
Thanks for
you'll have
getting
to
Jim
pay.
in there.
And a
He's,
sudden
he's
accident
kind of
or
iconic
unexpected
in the,
illness
in the
could cause
Smith
your rates
Wesson
to
world.
skyrocket or even make you uninsurable. Beat the clock.
Cool,
Call Select
cool,
Quote
cool.
now.
All right, you
no
ready for the
hassle,
promos?
No obligation. In minutes, you'll have a choice
Here we
of your
go.
best rates from up to 10 highly
This is Eric
rated
from
life
OnTarget. This
insurance
week we
companies.
catch up on politics,
Richard,
laws, and new
40
products.
years old,
And
takes
we have a
minutes to
special
control
guest
his
for the Gun of the
cholesterol.
Week, sponsored by
Still,
Toyota West. Don't
Select
miss it,
Quote
Saturday
got him
at
a
1
10-year,
p.m.
$500,000 policy for under $25 a month.
This is Eric from
Under
OnTarget. This
$1 a
week we
day.
catch up
Don't
on politics,
risk your
laws,
family
and new
security
products.
another
And we have a
minute.
special
Get
guest
your
for the
free
Gun of the
quote
Week,
now.
sponsored by
Just
Toyota
call
West. Don't miss it tomorrow at 1 p.m.
800-280-8787. That's 800-280-8787.
This is Eric from OnTarget. Today we catch up on politics, laws, and new products. And we have a special guest for the Gun of the Week, sponsored by Toyota West. Don't miss it today at 1 p.m. We're live from LAPD Studios on Bethel Road.
Get full details on the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Your station for
you,
news,
sir.
traffic, and weather in Central
right.
Ohio.
Yep.
News Radio 610 WTVN Columbus. WODC HD2 Asheville.
An iHeartRadio station.
From ABC News. I'm Daria Albinger. President Trump says it's up to you. He's encouraging voters to push their lawmakers to pass legislation that will close loopholes, which now he says allow dangerous and violent people into the country.
Nancy Pelosi and Washington Democrats continue to protect them and to push for open borders. They want them taken care of. They want them to be left alone.
His comments in a